Hi, this is Brett from U Programming. Welcome to the Learn Python Programming for Beginners set of tutorials. In this tutorial, we'll be looking at the PyCharm 3 IDE, IDE standing for Integrated Development Environment. We'll have a quick look at some of the advantages of using an IDE as opposed to using a normal text editor to develop your Python programs. Then we will go to the PyCharm 3 download page, install it, download it, install it, run it, and then within the IDE create a Python project, and within that project create a Python source file. We will run that source file and we will examine the output of that source file in the console. And all of this we will be doing within the IDE. Using an IDE has quite a lot of advantages. Easy navigation of source files, project management, code editing features like templates, code completion, syntax highlighting, debugger integration, and version control system integration. Those are just a couple of advantages or a couple of features that make using an IDE compelling. For example, debugger integration. One of the things you're going to be confronted with when developing an application is errors. Having a debugger integrated into your IDE will make it just much easier for you to find those errors and fix them. Debugging consists of setting breakpoints in your source code, running the application, and having the application stop where you set those breakpoints, and then line by line being able to step through your source code, inspecting your application, your running application, and all of that will help you to determine what's causing the error. So, using an IDE, huge productivity boost for you as a developer. Let's go to the PyCharm 3 download page. Just go to jetbrains.com/PyCharm, or just do a Google search for PyCharm 3 and you'll get to this page. When you get to this page, I really recommend that you take a look at this video here on the right hand side. It will just provide you with a good overview of all of the PyCharm 3 features. We won't be doing that. We will just go to the download page. So click on the Get PyCharm 3 Now button. Click on that. When you get there, just make sure that the appropriate tab is selected for your operating system, and then click here on the Download Community button here. So that means we'll be using the Community Edition of the PyCharm IDE, and it's free, and it will provide us with everything that we need for our development in these tutorials. So click on the Download Community button. I won't do that. I've already downloaded the PyCharm IDE. Go to your Downloads folder once it's downloaded and double click on it. To install on a Mac, all you have to do is just drag and drop this onto your Applications folder. On Windows, you would just double click on it, and that will just start up the normal installation wizard, and then just follow all of the steps suggested by the wizard and pay special attention to the corresponding installation options. Once it's installed on Windows, you click on your Start button and just look for the PyCharm folder in your Start menu and click on the PyCharm icon. Let me close down some stuff and let's start it up. So on a Mac, we do this, and then I do a search PyCharm, and click on that, start it up. Shouldn't take too long to start. Once it starts, you will see this intro screen. You can do a couple of things here, the most important one being this configuration and creating new projects, which is what we'll be choosing. If you had previously created some projects within the IDE, they would be listed here on the left hand side, and you could just click on them to open them. Let's create a new project. Let's provide a project name. I'll call this project tutorial 2, and that will then automatically provide the location for the tutorial. And you can see here that I don't have an interpreter selected, so I need to click on this button here. Nothing to show. I click on this plus button here, and what that will do is it will scan my system for all of the available interpreters that are installed on my computer or on your computer. I don't want any of these older versions of Python. I just want the latest version, which is Python 3.4, which is what we installed in the previous tutorial. So I'll click on that. You can see it will provide these packages as well. I don't have to do anything there. I just click on OK. So now you can see that I've got a project name, a location, and the appropriate interpreter has been selected. OK. And that will start up the actual IDE itself. On startup, you always get these tips, and you can look at next and previous tips. And if you don't want to see these tips, just unselect by clicking on this tick box here, and then on the next startup you won't have the tips. They are actually quite useful, so I just normally just leave them on startup. Right, on the left hand side you have the project structure. If I click on this external libraries, you will just see the standard Python libraries are available to the project. I'll close that, not of too much importance at this stage of our tutorials. And then I have the actual folder in which I'll be creating the Python source code. So right click on that, go to new, click on Python file. Let's provide a name. I'll call it tutorial.py. The Py extension is what you need to provide for all of your Python source code. So tutorial.py. Click on OK, and that will actually create, you can see it's created a tutorial.py source file for us, and it's available here in our project structure. Now I can actually start inputting, typing Python expressions, statements, functions, just to see how it works within the IDE. I'll use the simplest of functions. Let me just show you again. Code completion, there you see code completion. As you're typing, it just provides you with all of the different options available to you. So print, and we will do a hello world. Hello world. That's what all programmers do when they are learning a new programming language. This is the first thing they always do, how to output hello world to the screen. I'll save that, Command S, keyboard shortcut, or I could just go to here to File, Save All, and click there. Now I want to actually run this Python program. This is a valid Python program, and all it will do, unsurprisingly, it will just output hello world to the console. So to run this, I need to click on the Run menu here, choose the Run menu item here, and then it will need to create, under the hood, it needs to create what's called a run configuration. I just choose tutorial, and then it will run. And here is where you can actually see the output of our first Python program. If I change this, hello world, how are you? And I save it again and I run it. I can also click here to run it again, and I can click here to run it again, or I can go here and click run tutorial. You can see the output of the program. In a nutshell, that's it. What we've seen is an IDE. Why use an IDE to do our Python development? A couple of advantages that make using an IDE compelling. We then went to the download page. We downloaded and installed PyCharm. We've created a project within PyCharm, and we've created our first source file within PyCharm. We then ran that source file, and we examined the output in the console. That wraps up this tutorial. Our next tutorial will be about Python variables. That's when things start becoming interesting. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and I hope to see you around next time. Goodbye.